In this video, I'm showing you how to get started with Zoho CRM. I'll walk you through everything you need to know on how to set up your account, manage leads, track deals, and start closing more sales. So, if you're ready to take control of your customer relationships, let's dive right in.
Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is sign up to Zoho CRM. At the moment, they're offering a 15-day free trial for every new sign up. So you can either sign in using any of these socials or accounts, or you can sign up using your email address for a new account. So once you click on that button, it'll take you to the sign up page where it'll offer a 15-day free trial. You'll just have to fill out your full name, work email, create a password, and then add your phone number over here and then just click on get started. If you also want to sign up using your socials or email or Google account or LinkedIn, you can do so from the single sign-on options over here. So at the moment, I already have an account and I'll show you what to do after that. Okay, so now that we're signed in, you will see the overall dashboard of your Zoho CRM. Now, these are all test data or sample data that it's been loaded. This will help us quickly go over how you can manage your Zoho CRM dashboard and what these things are that we're seeing on the screen right now. On first login, you'll see your dashboard with a couple of sections spread on top. These are the quick sections that you can see the information really quickly. You have open deals, untouched deals, calls today, and leads. Later on, we'll tell you what those mean and how to manage them. And over here, you have open tasks. So since this is a CRM, this has a lot of different components to it. You'll have contacts, leads, meetings, deals, and tasks, of course. So you'll see your open tasks here with all the information that is required for you to take action on these tasks. Over here, you have meetings as well. And right down here, you have today's leads and my deals closing this month. And right down here, you'll see a pipeline with the number of deals by stage. So this will give you a quick overall insight as to how many and what the statuses are of the deals that you have currently in your CRM. Now, obviously, this dashboard is personalized based on the sample data that we have, but you can easily customize this dashboard depending on what you use your CRM for, what type of business you have, and just your overall preference. So you can quickly customize this by simply clicking this menu over here. You can add a component. So you can get different components from either the dashboard, a custom view, or different widgets, or even a kiosk. So as you can see, there are overall components here that you can just add quickly to this dashboard. And aside from that, you can easily reorganize or reorder the components or the widgets that are added here. Just click on reorder and then you can easily drag this back and forth, up and down, or wherever you want. You could also resize it by just clicking on this. And if you want something really big up here and all the other ones at the bottom, maybe we can move this over here so that they're side by side. You could also do that from your dashboard. So once you're done, just click on save and it'll all be saved. And over here, you'll see a refresh button to quickly refresh all the components over here on your dashboard. Right next to that, you'll see a drop down of the different home pages that you have. So you can either select the classic view, your own customized homepage view, or a manager's home view, which is kind of a new feature. Right up here, you'll see the other aspects of your Zoho CRM. You have the leads tab, which obviously will show you all the leads that you have. You can easily filter them depending on whatever you want to filter them with: touched, untouched, record, action, related records, annual revenue, city, company, or whatever information you would like to filter these leads based on your preferences. So you can also search a filter option right here, and right on the main screen you have all your leads. You can easily click on this to sort it ascending or descending. You can pin this column. No. You can filter this column by any condition that you want to apply based on the name. Same with company, email, phone, lead source, and call owner. Up here, you could also change the number of records per page from 10 to 50. And over here, you can click on manage columns so that you could add or subtract or change the columns that are saved on the leads page. Over here, you can change on the type of view which is list view or Kanban view, or you could have other custom canvas views if you want to preview your leads based on those views as well. And of course, right here, there's a create lead button. If you have a new lead, you can just click on that to create a new lead. You could also import leads, notes, and other sync options that we'll talk about in a minute. Next to that is the actions button. Now, these are kind of bulk actions that you can do with your leads. So you can simply select them and then find the actions from the actions button here. You could either mass delete, mass update, or any other option that you would like to perform on the leads that you have on your account. Now that we're done talking about the leads, let's now move on to contacts. Obviously, this is the page where you can see all the contacts that you have saved on your CRM. Now, same options apply. You have the filter options here. You have the different columns that you can manage from this option. You can change the number of records per page. And you can have different views of all your contacts as well. Right here, you have the option to create a new contact and import contact and notes. You also have the same actions menus right over here. And same thing goes for accounts, same thing goes for deals, tasks, meetings, and all the other aspects of your CRM. Again, you can enable and disable any of these tabs to hide them or show them based on the specific business that you're running. So if you have, say, an e-commerce business, obviously you'd only want to see sales, leads, and contacts. If you have a B2B business, you might want to have your deals up front. So Zoho CRM does offer that kind of flexibility when it comes to managing your customer contacts and relationships. And over here, you have the create menu. Now, if you click on this, it'll give you the option to quickly create any type of lead or any type of account or contact or deal that you want to create and add to your CRM. Now, this way, you don't have to go to any of the specific tabs and click on the create meeting or create task or create lead over here. You can just click on this plus icon and then scroll down to whatever it is that you want to add, and you'll be able to add that very quickly and very effectively from this option here. Next is the search. Obviously, if there's something that you want to search, just click on this and you'll be able to find that out. Signals or reminders over here, you can have a calendar view as well so that you could quickly go to your calendar and see what's on it if you have any tasks that are pending for this date. Or you could also have a week view or a month view. If you have any tasks or any meetings or calls that you have scheduled, you can see this quickly on the calendar. Now, over here on the marketplace, this is actually a sort of marketplace of extensions that you can add for your Zoho CRM that would help you kind of expand the process or expand the functionality of your CRM if ever there's something lacking still from whatever you have now based on your business needs. Over here is the setup or settings page where you can see a lot of the different settings that is for the CRM. We will go through some of this, but a lot of this are just very niche settings that are just there in case you have that business that would need that specific setting. Now, as I mentioned, over here on the customization section, you'll see a lot of different customization options that would help you either translate your CRM, create templates, customize your entire homepage, customize the modules and fields and pipelines and all the other stuff that you would want to customize on the dashboard or on this overall screen that I've just shown you. All right, so the next thing that we're going to be talking about is really quickly how to add and manage leads. Now, leads are contacts to people, or leads are actually the beginning of relationships with companies. So if you're a business that does business with other companies or even business to customer relations, leads are kind of the crumbs that you have to reach out and start a relationship with another customer or another company. Now, on Zoho CRM, it gives you a lot of options on how to create, manage, and simply store the information of the specific lead that you have. So over here, we're on the leads tab or leads menu. And to create a new lead, just click on create lead over here. Or you can quickly just click on the create menu over here and search for lead. Now that we've opened the create lead option, you'll see that there are different options here. You can add an image and then the lead owner. This is not the name of the customer. This is just the owner of the lead that you're adding. So for example, if you want to add a lead and assign it to a different team member, you can do so here. And after that, you can add the first name, title, and all the other information of that specific lead. Now, there are some validations for these fields. So, for example, for email, you can only add an email, etc. And you could also have address information. And you could also have a description for that specific lead. Once that's added, you can click on save or save and new so that you can save the specific lead and create a new one. If you want to edit this page layout or if you want to edit the new lead form, which is this one, you can just click on this and it'll open another tab for you to be able to edit the module that is adding a new lead. You can quickly drag each of this to another location or remove them as you wish. This is also located on the settings page. Now, going back to the leads menu, you could also import leads using a CSV or a spreadsheet simply by clicking on the drop down here and clicking on import leads. You can either import it from a CSV file that you can drag and drop here or from other CRMs. They also have a sample CSV that you can use easily so that it'll match up automatically with what Zoho CRM accepts. So going back to the leads, like I said, leads are the crumbs before the relationship starts with that specific company or customer. Now, if you want to move it to the next step, or if you simply want to edit the specific lead, just go to the leads menu, click on the lead name, and from here, you will see all their information, as you can see there. And you can even add attachments, notes, products, activities, etc. You can see all their information here. And for example, if you want to move this customer over, Mr. Christopher McLeod, if you want to move him over to the next step, which is add them as a contact or a deal or create an account for them, you can just click on convert over here and they will automatically be converted into a deal. Now, again, you can modify this pipeline if you want to convert them directly to a new contact or convert them directly to a new account instead of a deal. You can do so by changing the conversion mapping, and you can find that on the FAQ. But for now, if we want to create a new deal for this account, a new account will be created and a new contact will be created. You could also create a new deal for this account. So if you want to convert the lead into more than just an account and a contact, you can create a new deal for them. Just enter the amount here, say $4,000. Change the name of the deal, change the closing date, and you can maybe change the stage of this new deal to any of the stages that you've already added or that's already available here. And then you can click on convert and they will automatically be converted into a deal, a contact, and an account. So that's how to move your leads along to the next step of the process using Zoho CRM. The next thing that we're going to talk about is how to work with contacts, accounts, and deals. Now, leads are the crumbs, as I mentioned earlier, but contacts, accounts, and deals kind of are like the whole cookie. So the contacts, the accounts, and the deals are the relationships that you already have with your customers or the other businesses that you're working with. So contacts are just the people within those companies. So you can see the Christopher McLeod that we converted earlier from a lead. They've officially became a contact for a account that they have with your CRM. This means that Mr. Christopher McLeod over here is officially partnered or has a relationship with your company because they're moved from just a lead to now a contact of your company. They also have a deal open for them and they also have an account open for them as well because they have been converted. So that's how contacts work. Contacts are essentially the people within the companies. Accounts, on the other hand, are like the companies that you're working with. So, for example, you have Rangoni of Florence. That's an account that you have, and the contact for that is Mr. McLeod that we just checked earlier. So those are what accounts are. So they're like the projects, for example, if you're using that terminology. Now, the deals are the specific stages that those accounts are in. For example, the one we mentioned earlier with Mr. Christopher McLeod with an account of Rangoni of Florence, he now has a deal with us that is in the qualification stage. The deal's worth is $4,000 and it's currently in the qualification stage. You could easily also move this to needs analysis, value proposition, identify decision makers, etc. And etc. If you're using a CRM that has kind of a funnel or a deal stages kind of setup, this will be very useful for you so that you could track the different deals that you have, especially if you're a B2B business. This will be really, really helpful for you. Now, aside from that, we're going to also talk about the tasks, the notes, and activities. Over here, we have tasks. As I mentioned, this is not just a CRM. This is kind of like a project management system as well, that you could add a specific task if you want to keep track of the to-do list that you have for a specific deal or a specific company. You can quickly add a new task by clicking on Create Task. And then you can change the owner, subject, due date, etc. You can select a specific contact, for example, Christopher McLeod that you have, and it'll auto-populate the account. And you can change the status of the task as well, priority or reminder, and of course, add the description over here. So this is not just a CRM, this can also be a project management system for you, where you can add specific tasks, and you have a Kanban board that you could move the tasks around and assign it to different people, depending on how many members you have on your actual CRM. Meetings are kind of the same thing. They're just scheduled meetings that are linked to specific contacts and specific deals that you could create and add over here. You can also have calls and other notes as well that are linked to specific deals, linked to specific accounts, or linked to specific contacts or even specific leads if they are unconverted still. So the good thing about Zoho CRM is that they also have automations available. If you click on the settings page and go to automation, you'll see that you have a couple of options here. But for now, let's quickly go over the workflow setup. We'll make a more detailed information about how workflows and automations work with Zoho CRM. But essentially, these rules allow you to perform certain automatic actions based on a specific criteria. So for example, if there is a task for a lead that has been changed to completed, then if you have an automation set for it, it can automatically be converted into an account, a deal, or a contact, depending on the type of automation that you have. So let's see what this big deal rule is. So as you can see, this is a specific automation that is executed when a deal is created or edited to meet a specific condition. So the condition is if the amount is greater than 1,000 and the probability is 100%, the action would be to get an email notification, which is a big deal alert. So to sum up, this is an automation to send a notification to a specific person if there is a deal that is added or created that is more than $1,000 with 100% probability. So you can add a lot of similar workflows, actions, schedules, assignments, and automations on Zoho CRM based on your business needs. So now that we've talked about a lot of how Zoho CRM works and what the features are, I'm just going to quickly go over a couple of tips and best practices when it comes to saving information or data or managing your data on Zoho CRM. The first thing is to make sure that you keep your data clean. So for example, if I go to a lead here, which is Miss Carissa Kidman, what I meant by keeping the data clean is to make sure that the data is organized and the data is accurate. So if you go to the very top, as you can see, all their information is filled out and they have a lead status of contact in the future. Over at lead information, they also have all of their information clearly laid out and accurate and up to date. So when I said keep the data clean, make sure your naming is consistent. You don't want to have nicknames. You don't want to have inconsistent naming structures. So make sure that you have all of your data and information clean. And the next thing is to always check on your tasks. So you don't want to add a task here just to remind yourself in the future. You actually would want to keep your follow-ups regular, keep your tasks up to date, and keep the statuses of your tasks up to date. And finally, use tags and filters effectively, including views on specific menus and specific widgets and modules that you're going to be adding. So as mentioned earlier, you can change the views of the specific modules or menus that you can see and use that to your advantage. For example, under tasks, I find it more advantageous to use a Kanban view, but if you want a list view, if that works for you, then go ahead and do that. So those are some best practices that we have when using Zoho CRM.
And there you have it. That is your crash course on getting started with Zoho CRM. We covered everything from setting up your account, adding and managing leads, working with contacts and deals, using tasks and follow-ups, and even a peek into automations. If you made it this far, you're already ahead of most people just starting out. So props to you. If you found this helpful, go ahead and give this video a like, and don't forget to subscribe to Market Done for more tutorials like this, especially if you're into tools that help you stay organized and work smarter. If you have any questions about Zoho CRM, drop them in the comments. I'll be hanging out there and I would love to help. Also, if you'd like to sign up to Zoho CRM, you can check the link in the description below to find out how to get started. That's it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!